I spoke to Wanjira Mathai, the Vice President and Regional Director for Africa at WRI-World Resources Institute. She's also the current chair of the Wangari Maathai Foundation. Her mother, Professor Wangari Maathai, is among the women honored in the Time magazine special edition. I began by asking her about the strides women have made in the last 100 years.
We've come a long way. I mean, I think I'm myself an example as the Vice President and Regional Director for Africa for one of the largest organizations in environment and development in the world, is a really good recognition that women in leadership is no longer just words. There are a lot of women, especially African women, who are finding themselves in places of leadership.
So you talk about often the recognized people are normally male, right? Yeah. So what are some of the hurdles that stand in the way of women getting their recognition?
Well, I think historically women have just been excluded. We are not at the table when decisions are being made on boards or in the top leadership. We often have responsibility without authority, is what I say. And so this is what has to change. But I think also because of the historical exclusion of women, there's also been somewhat of an acquiescence. Women often don't put themselves forward for leadership. I've seen that most recently in our politics, where you have clear provisions, legal provisions for women to be in leadership. And it's difficult sometimes to find women to run for office. I've seen it in community leadership at the Greenbelt movement, where women were often always the only group members. And so the leadership of the governance of those groups was often women. So women were the chair, they were the secretary, they were the treasurer. But as soon as one man entered the group and they became, you know, a more integrated group, when they picked the leader, they would often always pick the man.
So you raise a very interesting aspect of even though women put themselves forward, we don't tend to, women don't tend to pick a fellow woman when seeking leadership. Yes. Now, if you look at a country like Kenya, where you have the majority of voters are women, and yet Kenya has never voted a woman president, despite the fact that there have been a woman who's put herself forward for presidential, positions. It is often said that women are their worst enemies. Yeah. Are they?
Well, I don't know, but this I know for sure. Let us not romanticize. It's not that all women are good leaders, and certainly not that all men are not good leaders. I think we have to ensure that the quality of leadership we get is of the highest standard, whether it's male or female. So what women are looking for is not just to be given leadership. We must earn that leadership.